Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well today, and I just want to say a big thank you to all of my new subscribers, and thank you to everyone that comments and likes this video and also my channel and all my other videos. I really appreciate every single person that takes time to watch the videos and supports my channels. So something I want to talk about in this video is 4 common relationship issues and solutions. So I'm not going to go in too much depth with all of these because I may do separate videos on each. But what I want to talk about is this is based on information I've read, training I've done, my work as a counsellor and a coach. So the first one that comes up a lot is infidelity, and obviously having an affair has a massive impact on any relationship, but I also want to talk about some solutions as well as we go along. So the obvious reason having an affair affects the relationship is because it affects not only how you feel about yourself, but it affects trust. And when you put your trust and vulnerability into a person, meaning that you have no clue that they're going to pull the rug from under you, you just going along merrily, you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you either find out through them or through another person, or you catch them in the act. It's almost like it blindsides you because you're not prepared for it. Now, this doesn't happen in all relationships. Some people enter into a relationship with someone and know that they have a history or a past of cheating, or they can even enter the relationship and know that the person has cheated, and the person has been quite honest about that and says, I'm not going to stop seeing other people. That's different. It still will affect you because it's still cheating. And I think deep down at the root of it is that anyone that gets into a relationship with someone, your belief is that they want to be with you. Your belief is that they care about you, that you're the only one that they care about. So I think it comes down to not just that feeling of what's wrong with me, why do they have to go to someone else, but also a feeling of disrespect. Why does this person feel the need to treat me like this by doing it? And a lot of times it isn't anything to do with you, it's to do with them. So what can you do about it? If this is something that's affecting your relationship, my first tip to you is to confront the issue head on. A lot of people are fearful of talking about stuff, especially affairs, because they think it's going to bring up an issue. They think they're going to feel more hurt. They're going to say, well, let's just push it under the carpet and let's not talk about it again. Let's move on. But you can't move on from something unless you've explored it first. Confronting it head on means that you say directly to the person, let's talk about this. Let's talk about why the affair happened. Let's talk about what was going on. What was your mindset? What were you thinking? What was happening? But you're not doing it in a judgmental way or a interrogation way, because people are just going to become defensive. You're doing it in a let's talk about this so we can resolve it. Let's talk about this so we can get to the roots of why it happened. Because unless you understand why this has happened, it might happen again. And so that's one thing you have to do, or you can consider doing. The second thing is you can either decide you're willing to accept this situation. My partner's not going to stop cheating. I'm not happy with it, but you know what? I don't want to end the relationship, so therefore I'm going to accept it could happen again. Now, there's no right or wrong with that. There are people that stay in relationships and marriages where they know that cheating is happening, but their feeling is that I'm not going to let the other person win, or I'm living a good lifestyle, I don't want to go anywhere. And it's entirely up to you. That could be one option or solution that you feel is best for you. Another solution could be to consider couples counselling, and also to confront the issue, consider couples counselling, decide if you're willing to accept it or not. If you're not willing to accept, then the final thing would be that you end the relationship and you walk away. All of the solutions or options that are available to you are things that you need to just consider as a person. You could be in different circumstances. It's different if you're married with children. You might feel that this isn't the right time. You might feel that this is too much to lose. I think it has to be down to you, but if you're going to stay in a relationship where cheating has happened and you're going to continue to raise it as the main reason why the relationship isn't working, if you're going to continuously be arguing about the cheating, if you're going to feel that you can't trust the person, you're going to be going through their pockets and all this, you have to think whether it's worth it or not. As a person, I know that I can't stay with someone who's cheated because I wouldn't feel good about myself. But also I'm not the trust has gone, and I have ended relationships because of cheating. And even if it was just a one-off, or even if it was whatever, it's the point is I can't go back to that feeling that we had before it happened. If I didn't know about it and it happened, it's different. But once you know, I think you then have to make that decision. Number 2, this comes up a lot, is people arguing over household chores not being shared. Even though it sounds like a simple thing, you do the washing up and I'll do the vacuuming and blah, blah. The amount of arguments or disagreements over housework between couples is just, it's just it is a common relationship issue, that the housework and chores are not divided. And there's more to it than just the actual issue. I think, to me, you can feel as a person that you're not loved or respected. So if my partner lets me do all the housework and he doesn't pick up his socks, or he doesn't help with the washing up, or he wants me to do the cooking and the cleaning and the washing up and the housework and this, the woman can sometimes feel, it can be the other way around, but a woman normally can feel, if he loved me then he would help, if he respected me then he wouldn't want me to do it all. So it's more about what that feeling is. And I think the key to it is to tell your partner why it's important. A man's not this is being general. I've got 4 brothers, so I'm just going with how we were raised. They don't see it as a big deal if they leave plates on the floor, or they leave the toilet seat up, or they leave a rim around the sink, because they've been shaving. They don't see it as a big deal. They're like, so, why is she screaming about this, or why is she going mad, or why is she always nagging me about it? You have to tell the person why it's important to you, why you feel so passionately about it, because then they'll understand. And the second bit is to negotiate. Allocate tasks based on what the person's good at or best at, but also what they'll stick to. I'm quite traditional as a person, so I'm not going to ask a man, if I was living, when I'm in relationships with them, to do the cooking or to do the cleaning. But if the car breaks down, then I'd want them to do that. Drilling stuff. This really sounds a bit sexist and a bit old-fashioned. That's just how I feel. Like, I'm not going to ever get in the garden and do gardening if I'm in a relationship. I would expect them to do it, take the bins out. I would expect, but I'll do all the stuff like the cooking, the cleaning. I wouldn't say to a man, you have to pick up like your socks and you have to do the beds and do the cooking. I don't mind doing all of that. I don't know where it's come from, but that's just my feeling. So if I was in a relationship with someone, that's what we would discuss, and we would negotiate that I'm willing to do all of this stuff, even if I'm working, but I need you to take the car for a car wash and keep the car clean. I want you to, do the DIY in the house. I need you to do the gardening and stuff. And it's just to have a talk about it, find a solution, find a negotiation. Number 3 is intimacy issues. So intimacy issues can be anything from sleeping in separate beds to not having sex, or not having sex often, or even intimacy without sex, just not having any affection, no kissing, no touching, just a general lack of. People will normally use the term, I feel like it's my roommate if you're living together, or I feel like I'm dating a friend but not a partner. So first of all, you need to figure out what's going on. When did this start to happen? What's behind it? There's always a reason for things. If you're in a relationship and I'm not saying you have to be jumping on each other like rabbits and, and stuff, but if there's a lack of affection or a lack of intimacy, there's always like a reason. Where did it come from? If you can get to the root of when it all happened and what's really going on, then, you're on the way there to resolving it. And the second thing is bring some fun back into the relationship. If you are without fun, when I'm just talking from my experience as well, when I'm in a relationship and it feels like it's hard work because the person's always intense, there's always nagging and moaning, you're all doing the mundane things, which you do in a relationship, don't you? You have to talk about money, you have to talk about who's doing the shopping, you have to talk about house. That's normal, that's natural. But if you don't have the other stuff where you can just be silly, like I do silly things in a relationship. We talk about silly stuff. Have a laugh, surprise each other, dress up, do all sorts. It just becomes, sometimes you have to bring that spontaneity in, you know what I mean? You have to give it a chance, because it's just that spark that you need. And then if you do all of that, then the intimacy will happen naturally, because the person will look across and think, oh, I didn't see this fun side of her character. Oh, she's dressing up tonight. Oh, I didn't expect that. Or, you know, just, I don't know how to say it. I just feel that intimacy is linked with other things that are happening in the relationship. If you've been nagging someone all day, or if you're both bickering about silly things during the day, then it's not about you getting into bed and the tension is just going to be lifted. So it's about creating an atmosphere within the relationship so that intimacy will happen naturally. I'm really affectionate, so when I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm always like grabbing at them, or, you know, going in for a little kiss, or sitting on their lap, or doing all sorts of things. That's just me, that's natural. But I feel that that's good. One of the good things about being in a relationship, you can do those silly things with your partner, but when you lose that, it can become, you know, the intimacy can go. The final thing is growing apart, having different goals, different interests, not spending time together. This causes a lot of issues, because if you feel you're connected, you've got common interests, you've got values, you've got compatibility, and then all of a sudden you just feel you're growing apart as a couple and you don't know where it's come from. It can be quite scary for some couples, because you don't understand what's happening. So identify the cause, you know, what's caused us to grow apart. Decide whether there's more to it. Is it that we're growing apart, or is it that we've grown out of love? Because they're two different things. And then make an action plan and a decision. Sometimes something could happen in your life and you feel that too much has happened. Whether you've had like bereavements, you might have been diagnosed with a terminal illness, you might have lost your job. All of those things will impact on you, but you might then look at your relationship and think, I can't be with this person anymore. Be honest if that's the reason. But if it's just that you haven't been spending enough time together, so you're growing apart because of, you know, you haven't spent enough time, or because of other reasons, try and fix it if you can. You can always go to couples counselling, give it a go. It's about being honest in all these situations. In any situation where there's an issue in your relationship, it's about being honest with the other person. You just have to communicate what the issue is, make a decision together, make a decision separately. And what I mean by that is think about, is this relationship for me? And then go from there, put an action plan in place. I know it's not simple as that, because we're human beings. We're not simple. We wake up some days and we love the person we're with. We wake up some days they do our heads in. I think that's natural. You can't, if you're around someone all the time and you're in a relationship all the time, there's times where they're going to get on your nerves, but that, I don't think there's a problem with that. It's what you do about it, so that the next day you wake up, they're not getting on your nerves anymore. So I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to share it if you think someone will benefit from it. Leave any comments, and I'll see you all again soon. Have a great day. Bye.